Hey there, Leafs Nation. It's your boy TML Domain, aka Persian Poppy, reporting to you from Toronto, where the Leafs have won five straight games, and they have points in nine straight. I've been saying this a lot in my past couple of videos, and it's it's turning out to be 100% true, and that the Leafs are ramping up to the playoffs, and with the veterans they have on the team now, like Bogosian, Muzzin, Thornton, Spezza, Simmons, um, you're starting to see that mentality that um, with 15 or 16 games left, you got to start ramping up towards your peak. You got to be in top form, top shape, the best that you can be when the playoffs start so you can hit the ground running. And the Leafs are really grinding away right now. They're finding ways to win. Uh, the game against Montreal was definitely wasn't pretty, but that's just what the Leafs do now. Just like against Calgary, they found a way to win. Against Montreal, they found a way to win. They're gritty. They're killing penalties. Thank God their penalty kill is amazing. Thank God the Leafs penalty kill is good because their power play is atrocious. You can't you'd have to you'd have to go on the show called Where in the World is the Leafs Power Play to even get a chance. Find some clues. The Leafs power play is completely non-existent, but thank God their penalty kill is good, and that's kind of evening up what's going on in the special teams. Um, they're not getting badly outplayed on the special teams in terms of giving up a power play goal or two and not being able to score power play. If you don't give up any power play goals, then it's okay if your power play doesn't score. But um, the Leafs are getting the job done 5-on-5, and that's what really matters come the playoffs when the whistles get put away by the refs, and we all know that this happens. When the whistles go away and the power plays stop, a team like Edmonton, who relies heavily on power play opportunities to gain momentum in games, will be at a serious disadvantage. And the Leafs are winning games without scoring goals on the power play. It's been they have one power play goal in 11 games. Unbelievable stuff. I never thought with this kind of talent the Leafs could ever put up a streak like this, but it's gross. I'm thoroughly disappointed in the Leafs power play. And to be honest with you, I put a lot of that on Mitch Marner. Austin Matthews got hurt, and that coincided with the power play going to shit. But where is the magician? Like, where is the guy who makes these high-end plays that gets the power play going? Mitch Marner touches the puck a lot on the power play, and it's not going on anybody's stick. It's not the puck does is not the end result of Marner getting the puck on the power play is that the puck is supposed to end up on the stick of a shooter, and the puck ends up in the back of the net. And there's Nylander, and there's Tavares, and there's Matthews. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of shooters there. And Mitch Marner is not putting the puck on no one's stick. So he needs to get the Leafs power play going. It would be nice if he got if he was able to do something on the power play. It's no one's. It's one of those things. Anyways, so Campbell wins his 10th straight, which is a new Maple Leafs franchise record. Kudos to Jack Campbell for doing what he's doing right now, going on this impossible run. Nobody would have ever thought that this is the guy that would set this kind of record for the Leafs in net. But hey, the couple of years ago, Jordan Binnington came out of nowhere, got extremely hot, got the St. Louis Blues in a good playoff spot, and then he went off in the playoffs. And this could be one of those scenarios. We'll see what happens with Jack Campbell. Um, Hopefully Freddie gets healthy and he's there just in case as an insurance policy for the Leafs. But the Leafs are playing so good defensively right now that it doesn't really matter which goalie is in net. Hutch is in net, they win. Um, Campbell's in net, they win. So let's see what the Leafs do for the in terms of the trade deadline. I think the Leafs are definitely looking into goalies, but depending on the prices, I don't think the Leafs are going to end up with anybody better than maybe an Anton Forsberg out of Ottawa. We're going to talk about more about the trade deadline towards the end of the video once I'm done analyzing the game, but there's definitely things there to talk about. So the Campbell wins his 10th game in a row. The Leafs are undefeated in April. 5 straight wins, like I said. Points in 9 straight. Absolute domination. There's been some bad news in terms of Nylander possibly being exposed to COVID. Sheldon Keefe came out and said, right around lunchtime on game day, there was something going on. They knew that there was definitely something, and he said, Sheldon Keefe mentioned that he gave William Nylander a lot of credit. He was very upfront, and he said something right away. And Keefe is absolutely correct. Kudos to Nylander for getting that out in the open and getting it under control right away, just in case. The Leafs are absolutely rolling right now. You would hate for something like what happened to the Vancouver Canucks and their families, and big shout out to the Vancouver Canucks and their families. Hopefully all the players there and coaches, management, extended family, whatever's they're dealing with, you hate to hear it. But these things happen. Such is the world that we live in today. So again, I just want to make sure that everybody in Vancouver and the Vancouver Canucks know that I'm thinking about them and I'm praying for them. So yeah, Nylander is, I believe the situation or the protocol mandates that it's 7 days. So Nylander, along with the rest of his team, like they get tested every single day. So he would have had a Thursday test, a Friday test, and a Saturday test before the Leafs play next. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I believe it's a 7-day protocol, but no other Toronto Maple Leaf has tested positive or been added to the NHL's COVID protocol list, which is good news. So hopefully this was just one of those contact tracing things where there was a possible scare, and it turns out to be not a big deal, and everyone's healthy and everyone's okay, because at the end of the day, hockey is secondary, and health and life is definitely more important, even though we're all diehard Leaf fans and we want to see the team do good. So yeah, Austin Matthews, absolutely rolling right now. Scores 54 seconds into the game. Really nice wraparound move. You can see the way he's controlling the puck and he's shooting it. His wrist is feeling better, so let's hope that continues to progress in a positive direction and he is good to go for the playoffs. Um, Great goal by him, and Montreal tied it up right before the end of the first period. Or actually, Montreal scored 2 minutes and change into the first period to tie it up 1-1. And that was pretty much it for the first period. Nothing really going on in the second period. The Leafs looked really good in that first period, dominated in that first period. The second period, not so much. And then the third period, the Leafs really grinded this one out. Watching the game, there's two high-end passes made by Alex Galchenyuk, one to Ilya Mikheyev, and one to John Tavares, where I don't even know. He wasn't even. Both of these players were either behind him or outside his periphery vision. I don't know how he sees these guys, and he makes these passes, and he puts. But Galchenyuk, the more comfortable he gets, is really starting to showcase his skill, which is great. Um, TJ Brody scores in the third period. His first goal as a Toronto Maple Leaf. Good for TJ Brody. Um, he said himself after the game that it took a little bit longer than he wanted to score his first goal, but you know, us fans, he's been playing so good. He's easily become one of my favorites. Um, thank God he signed the contract that he did in Toronto. I'm personally going to get a jersey with his name on it. And yeah, it's a great goal. Driving, he's going to the net, and a puck goes off a skate and right onto a stick, and he puts it 5-hole on Jake Allen. So TJ Brody, great defensive instincts, great offensive instincts on that play. To go, choosing to go to the net when he did. Zach Hyman scored a great goal off of a 200-foot play by Austin Matthews. And the play starts off with Austin Matthews going behind the net, stick checking a Montreal player, taking the puck off of his stick, skating up ice. He gives a small dish off to Mitch Marner, who puts it back on Austin Matthews to stick, and Austin Matthews puts it on net for a juicy rebound, and Hyman pops it in because we all know who Zach Hyman is. He's a dog on a bone. And he goes to the net. He's old school. Gotta love that guy. And Zach Hyman pots in the goal to make it 3-1 Toronto. And then with a couple of minutes left, Montreal, Corey Perry scores in front of the net to make it 3-2. And that's the game. So Campbell really grinding out that game. The Leafs really grinding out that game. Defense looks good. Penalty kill is good. And like I said, 5 straight wins, points in 9 straight. Let's keep it going. Go Leafs, go. And Monday is the trade deadline. And there's a lot of talk out there. There was a lot of initial talk around the Toronto Maple Leafs and Taylor Hall on the Buffalo Sabres. And based on everything I'm seeing and hearing, the Leafs don't have much interest in Taylor Hall. I think, I personally think if the Leafs are going to make a move, it's going to be a big move. If something comes down, there's a good chance the Leafs could be quiet on Monday. But if the Leafs do make a trade on Monday, I guarantee you it's going to knock your socks off. It's going to blow your head off. They are going to make a big blockbuster move. I personally think that the Leafs are going to come out with the best player available. I don't know who that player is. I don't know which team he's going to come from, but I know that the Leafs, when the trade deadline is done, everyone's going to be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and the blockbuster deal they made and the giant player they acquired and how they just became Stanley Cup favorites. Um, Yeah, so in terms of Taylor Hall, I don't think there's a lot of interest there. The Leafs have called around the NHL to talk about a lot of goalies, but the problem is, I don't think the Toronto Maple Leafs are interested in a lot of goalies that you're hearing right now just because of their in. So Campbell has been hurt on and off this season, and Freddie's been hurt all season pretty much, playing through injury at the beginning of the season with the groin before it finally took him out for the season. But the Leafs are are looking into goaltenders, but the thing is they don't want anybody with an injury history. So Jonathan Quick has an injury history. They don't want him. Antti Ranta has an injury history. The Leafs don't want him. Um, Carter Hutton and Buffalo is available. He has an injury history. The Leafs don't want him. The Leafs are actually, I personally think that the Leafs are interested in Linus Allmark. Any goalie with a winning record in Buffalo is is a I think is a great goalie. You got to check out this guy's stats. That team is atrocious, but he puts up decent stats. So I think if the Leafs are going to go out and acquire someone, and Freddie's not going to play again this season before the playoffs come, they're going to go out and get someone like Linus Allmark, and he's a possible solution, and he's a good goalie, and him and Campbell could definitely do a tandem next season and beyond. And you don't necessarily need to re-sign Frederick Anderson, but I think the Leafs should, you know, acquire some depth, and I think that guy is going to be probably Anton Forsberg in Ottawa, and then they're going to re-sign Freddie long term. Um, Another player the Leafs had a little bit of interest in, but not a lot, and that's Kyle Palmieri, and he already got traded. I think they had interest in Travis Zajac um, as a third line center, but being the package deal with Palmieri was done, and Lou Lamoriello paid the price to get that deal done. So good for Lou. Um, the Leafs have engaged the Chicago Blackhawks in talks specifically regarding facilitating a blockbuster type trade where they need cap space. And the Chicago Blackhawks have 26 million in LTIR space that they will lose instantly when the season is over, and it's nothing that they can accrue or move on to next season. So I think what's going to happen is the Chicago Blackhawks are going to take advantage of this LTIR that they have in abundance, and they're going to try to get whatever assets they can out of it. And I don't know if you guys remember, but last season when Leonard was traded from Chicago to Vegas, the Leafs were the middleman in that deal where they held on to uh, some of Robin Leonard's cap to make that deal work for Vegas. So I definitely, when I hear stuff like that, the Leafs engaging Chicago and using some of their LTIR space, I think that the Leafs are going after a big player. If you're trading for a $2-3 million player, the Leafs have that kind of cap space. So um, just the fact that the Toronto Maple Leafs are engaging Chicago or another team and facilitating a trade with bigger salaries, you're clearly talking about a Philip Forsberg in Nashville, maybe a Taylor Hall, but I don't think they have a lot of interest in him. I think he may be like a last resort if they really strike out on some players. And now that Nashville is rising in the standings and they're winning games and they're back in the playoff picture, I really don't think. I think the price on guys like Philip Forsberg and Mikhail Granlund and Matthias Ekholm, those prices are going to go up. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, so my personal opinion is if you hear on Monday when you're watching either Sportsnet or TSN's coverage of the trade deadline, if you hear the Toronto Maple Leafs made a trade, 99% it's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be a big one, and we're going to be talking about it for weeks. I'm going to be jump on here. We're going to go live on YouTube. Everybody jump in the chat, and we're going to talk about what just happened. We're going to be like, OMG. I can't wait. Monday's going to be a very exciting day for me. I hope it is for you guys too. I will try to do like a YouTube live stream and get the chat going so we can get all the Leaf fans up in here. Discussing the trade deadline and what they did and what they didn't do and what the opinions are. I want to hear what you guys have to say. You guys let me know. Do you guys think Taylor Hall is a good option? I personally don't. This guy leaves nothing but loser teams in his wake. He arrives and he leaves, and those teams are garbage. So I think he's lost weight, too much confidence, and it's not something you can build up a couple of weeks before the deadline. I think this guy is a project. If you can acquire him in the off season and work with him, that's one thing, but acquiring him with 10, 12 games to go, I don't think it's enough time for the Leafs to build this guy up into anything. But it will be interesting. It is what it is. You guys let me know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. How big do you think the Leafs? I mean, they look so good right now. Do they really need to go out and make a trade? Give up serious assets, maybe top prospects for a top 6 winger? Do you think that's good business? Do you think that's good asset management? I don't know. Sometimes when the window's open and you're good, you got to go swing for the fences and try to get that piece that puts you over the top. Like Tampa last year when they got Blake Coleman and players like that, it really helped them in the playoffs. Interesting times. Today was gorgeous in Toronto. I opened up the patio furniture on the deck. God damn it, we're in another lockdown, stay-at-home order. All I got is my patio and the beers. You know what I'm saying? You guys let me know what you guys are doing during this stay-at-home order and this lockdown. Me, I work from home. I got my laptop. I'm in my office. This is pretty much it. Stay positive, stay safe. We'll see you guys soon.